Come one, come all. It's this week's Monkey Nut Punch podcast. And as always on these podcasting journeys, I've got my lovely little friend Nigel. Say hello, Nigel.
Oh, hello. I like being a lovely little friend.
You'll get your router. Just be patient.
It'll come.
It'll come.
It'll come.
And 2K droning star presenter, Keith.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, and welcome to this week's Monkey Nut Punch podcast, and we'll go through the weekly news for TV, movies, and gaming stuff, along with some weird stuff towards the end. So, how you guys been?
Totes amazeballs.
Busy.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like the world's sort of waking back up again in the UK, and that means more work.
Yeah,
it does. Yeah.
More work. More than I had before, and I was busy before.
I've been doing lots of presentations telling people be aware it's going to fucking explode back into life come June. And we're going to be really busy. Lots of catching up to do. Keith, watched your stream yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah. It was full of droning stuff.
Surprise.
That's a surprise. I wouldn't have expected him to talk about drones on a drone channel. What the hell's that, Keith?
Yeah, I know. What's that all about?
What are you doing, mate?
Anyway,
I don't understand.
Without further ado, let's move on to the movie news. Now, let's see if I can get this right, because this is new. I can't show it. Right, hang on. How do I add it to the stream? Right, hang on. There it is. Just a little on the slow side. Here we go. So, the trailer for Marvel's Shang-Chi dropped, I think it was on Tuesday or Monday. And lots of people were impressed, shall we say. So let's have a watch.
Is this going to be in the cinemas?
To live your life.
Yeah.
I believe they're aiming. It was finished last year, but yes, I believe it's going to be in the cinema.
And where did that get you? You walked in my shadow. I trained you. To the most dangerous
That was so
people
Shaolin,
in the
that.
world. Couldn't kill you. Son, it's time for you to take your place by my side. You better watch out, 'cause it's my time. It's all mine. That's not going to happen. It's anywhere in your second alive. You woke up the dragon. You can't outrun. I run from who you really are.
Who are you?
My name's Gareth.
Bugger.
Hold on, everybody! We make a good team.
Just a quick one.
Everybody!
Bugger.
Does he say bugger?
Yes, he
I think
does.
he does. Yeah. She ran over the I-8, and I was like, no, I actually like it. That's the only BM I like. What are you doing?
Yeah. Okay, so right, the first thing is doesn't come across as a Marvel movie.
No, that clip doesn't do very much justice for the stereotype of Asian drivers. It really doesn't.
I forgot about that. Lady Asian drivers being terrible.
It's just not true. They don't all drive like that.
No, that's true. I didn't realise that one. Thanks for pointing that out. Okay, so we've got the trailer in it, and I'll be honest with you, all I know about Shang-Chi is that he's supposed to be Bruce Lee. That's all I know about Shang-Chi. There's a character in there called the Death Dealer. You see him, looks like he's training him, looks like he's fighting him at one point. Know nothing about him either. Mandarin, on the other hand, I do know stuff about the 10 Rings of the Mandarin, where he was, what was it? He was an Chinese emperor, found the crashed spaceship, ripped out the technology, put it into rings, and used that then to fight Tony Stark and summon Fing Fang Foom. That's it. I'm kind of struggling with Shang-Chi here. He doesn't say much at all apart from bugger. Which
Did he say
I
a
don't know what they're
word?
trying to do. He doesn't look very Bruce Lee-ish either.
Given Marvel's reputation when it comes to representation of Asians, I can't believe I'm using that word. It hasn't been good up to date, and they have a point there. But you know, the one that's driving the bus, right? Her name. You know, I have a thing for really stupid names, right? Her name is Aquafina. That's her name.
Her actual name.
Who the fuck names their kid Aquafina?
Is that her real name?
Stage name? That's a stage name.
I have no idea.
That's
what she uses in everything. She's got a slightly annoying voice, but she can be quite funny. I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of very put off by Marvel at the moment. I haven't seen anything good from Marvel since, Far Away From Home. And I mean, I really, really, really didn't enjoy Captain America and the Winter Soldier as it finished off. I thought it was a vehicle not...
Save it.
Leave it.
We've got that in for the reviews.
But the Marvel, I don't know. The clip where you saw the woman in ancient times spinning around and the hat, that kind of reminded me Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, which I love. I really do love that film. It has the potential to be good. It has the potential to mix comic books, the world with kung fu movies and all that kind of stuff. And it has the potential to be good, but knowing Marvel at the moment and the weird decisions that Kevin Feige seems to be making, I'm not so sure.
Right, I just like to point out, right. Shang-Chi is supposed to be Bruce Lee's comic book version of Bruce Lee. Yeah, that's all I know about him. Yeah, that guy doesn't look like Bruce Lee. He looks like his fat brother who decided to take up becoming a lawyer instead.
Well, he might just have a very, very big jawline.
No, but
too much chewing.
Do you know who Sammo Hung is?
No. Yes.
Sammo Hung.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he was in the Bruce Lee films, wasn't he?
Yeah, he usually directs a lot of Jackie Chan stuff. Yeah,
he does now. He does a lot of choreography, doesn't he? For the fights. Now,
I love him. But I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure on this. I'm looking at it, and Bilfer's brought up. He says it looks a bit meh to him. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not hot on it. I'm more. Mortal Kombat trailers did more for me. I'll be frank.
Yeah,
they look cool. A bit with Scorpion, but not Scorpion. Sub-Zero smashes the blood out. Scorpion turns into a dagger and stabs him with it. You're like, that's fucking awesome. We've got some shit CGI lions or tigers towards the end, which don't look good. I think Fing Fang Foom. I hate saying that name. That's the bit I hated about the fucking Mandarin in the comics. I only read 4 kind of comics when I was younger. That's Spider-Man, Transformers, Iron Man, and Zoids. And they were, believe it or not, they were like packaged together. So I get the Zoids comic and I'd have Iron Man at the end of it. And the bit I always hated was Fing Fang Foom because it didn't make any sense. And I think that the dragon, you've got to have the dragon in it for it to work. They've changed the rings, so they're not rings on his finger. They look like rings around his arms. And they should be able to do a load of things. They should be able to control minds, to like kind of ice shit, fire, crap, all that kind of stuff. and he was supposed to be like Tony Stark's bad guy. If
Are
do
they
it right,
doing the Mandarin? Is this the
it's
Mandarin
the
that
Mandarin. You saw the
because
Mandarin in the trailer. You saw him in the
is
trailer.
that the Mandarin or was
That's
that
the
his
Mandarin.
father?
That's
Right.
his father.
So
the
if
Mandarin.
they okay, his father is the Mandarin.
Yes, his father is the Mandarin.
Okay. You see, when they did that, when people got pissy because they didn't do a good job of the Mandarin, or even though it is funny in Iron Man 3, he was the toast of Croydon. When they released that sort of little thing from my clip where the sort of Marvel short, that got me quite excited that at the time that they're going to do the Mandarin, and they linked it back to the 10 rings, and they linked it back to all of those sort of ring things in the first couple of Iron Man movies. Now, if they go back and revisit that a bit, it could be interesting. And they do that in that vein. But that trailer didn't do anything for me much either. But it lost me when it came up Marvel. At the moment, I'm not happy
You're
with
probably
them.
you're probably more interested in it if it wasn't Marvel. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think I probably would have been more interested in it if it wasn't Marvel. It's because we know that Marvel want to put constraints on the bloody film and putting stupid things in there. And that, of course,
I think we know why I'm slightly apprehensive about Marvel at the moment. And
Well,
Yeah.
from my perspective, as somebody who isn't into Marvel as much as you guys, and I know nothing about this character, I know even less than him. And G-Man, no, who's that side? You're that way. It's the opposite. I take it in isolation. It looks like a decent enough action flick. And there was, I watched it with my wife and kids, the trailer, and my wife recognised quite a few notable actors from where she's from, and so at least you know that they haven't just plucked anyone off the street. They seem to be reputable actors who are playing these characters. So from that perspective, I don't think it's all. I think it's all going to be down to the writing and where the story takes you. And what they get them to do, then forget all the, Well, exactly. Well, I'm gonna see closer to the time. Did it say it was not going to be out until 2022? Did I miss that? Or is it later this year?
No, it's September this year, I think. 3rd of September.
Oh, September. Still quite. If they were finished, I suppose. Yeah, if they were finished last year,
it was finished before. The movie thing, it was in post-production before we went to Goof or C19.
Well, yeah, I would have thought, well, actually, maybe they're just sort of biding their time a bit on it then, just to make sure that theatres are open so everyone can go out and see the latest Marvel. Maybe that's what they're doing.
Well, it's the same with Mortal Kombat, because Mortal Kombat in the UK has been delayed because they've gone, we can hold on to May, and then we want to get into the cinema for May, which is annoying because I was going to watch that this weekend. I went to Amazon. I wound up watching Invincible instead, which is fantastic. You should watch Invincible. It's good.
Invincible.
You think Invincible? Hang on. You think Invincible's good?
Yeah, it's a bit
woke, even with all that woke
Invincible
bullshit in it at the beginning.
Hang on.
Yeah, but he smashes them to fucking pieces at the end.
Oh, I didn't get past episode 1.5 because it was just I thought, oh god, this is woke.
Did you not see it where he smashed? Where Omni-Man just kills everyone?
Yeah, it did. I did see that,
story.
but then there was even woke nonsense after that, and it was blatantly virtue signaling, and it just went, oh god, not again.
Hang on, what film's that? Did you say Invincible?
TV show called Invincible.
It's not. It's a TV.
We'll talk about that later. But just going back to Marvel Shang-Chi, if this was done by someone else, I think I'd be more excited. Yeah, my problem is I think it's because it's Marvel, and Marvel at the moment have stung me quite a bit recently. So it's one of those. I will wait until one of you guys watch it and come back to me and go, yeah, it was all right. But I'm worried that it's going to be one of those films that you watch, and the moment you finish watching it, you go, oh yeah, and you forget it. That's what I'm thinking, because it doesn't look. There's no wow bits in it. There's no ooh, this looks exciting or whatever. Think about the first Avengers trailer. Yeah, you got that giant fucking snaky thing come through, and they're like, oh shit, right at the end to make you go, oh, this looks interesting. That's probably why I was expecting Fing Fang Foom to come bloody into it. There's a chance for a second trailer, but given the time that they've had to put this together and the time they've had to put the trailer together,
well, it might be a little bit
trailer.
more calculated on that. They might have gone, we'll release this one first, and then close to the time, we'll release this one, which gives a little bit more detail.
If I'm going to put it down to the second trailer. When it gets to the second trailer, if the second trailer pulls me in, it'll be all right. But if the second trailer does what the first trailer did, no. Yeah, I think that's the case. It's getting, it will get a reprieve, but as I said, been stung by Marvel recently. Not too happy with them.
I agree with you.
And on that note, let's move on to our next bit.
You're listening to the Monkey Nut Punch podcast.
As he tries to drink his tea in between the things. Right, Hollywood studios could insert digital product placement ads into classic films and TV shows. Wow, how Orwellian does that sound? I really don't like this idea whatsoever. So imagine this, yeah? You watch Back to the Future, yeah? Back to the Future's got product placement for Pepsi, yeah?
Yeah, it does,
Pepsi
yeah.
won't pay extra to have that in Back to the Future anymore. They won't pay any more money to it. So you go, okay, Coke, would you like to do it? And the Coke go, yeah. And then they pay, and then they go back to the film. And because it's streaming now and you don't own a copy of the bloody thing, they then flip it out from Coke to Pepsi.
As a consumer,
yeah,
it doesn't really make much of a difference unless they start putting price up to do that. But they shouldn't, because the people who are going to be paying to have this product placement are the advertiser, just to get in front of people. I mean, it shouldn't have an impact on people like us who are just paying for the service, right?
Yeah, but
imagine that you've bought the film one way and you're expecting to see Back to the Future one way, and then they've gone in there and they've edited it. It also means that they can do other editing bullshit with things like this, which I don't like the idea of. So do you remember a while back there was a thing with Daryl Hannah's ass in Splash, where they CGI'd some extra hair over a butt so you couldn't see it. And then there was the ooh la la thing in Back to the Future. Just take an example where they removed the ooh la la book from it. Yeah, so now they have the porn mag that the guys are sharing around, which they swapped the cover over for the almanac, for the sports almanacs, which has got all the predictions the Biff can use to create his gambling empire. And they removed that, and everyone was like, what the fuck's going on here? And it is worrying because how can I put it? Today's politics isn't necessarily tomorrow's politics, and certain things can get removed and messages can be changed. And if they can do it with deep fakes, and I've seen some great deep fakes, most of them around Donald Trump pretending to be a Channel 9 Wyoming presenter. I love that. That's the best deep fake. And yeah, it's worrying that they can start doing stuff like that, and it means they can go back and edit history, and that's pretty much what Winston was doing in 1984. Was going back and removing history that didn't, match what the party said, and it is a little terrifying because if they can do it there, they'll do it. They'll find other reasons to do it. And Disney, with their sensibilities, considering that they got rid of, they're trying to get rid of Splash Mountain in Disney World because of it's related to this some of the South, is it? The Brer Rabbit stories, which ironically are African stories that have been converted over to Western stories so they can be told and accepted more widely, and they want to get rid of it, which just makes me go. I love Zippity Doodah as a tune. Not sure about the film, but Zippity Doodah is it's an earworm alongside It's a Small World. And it's one of the things that I kind of think about when I hear that tune. I think about Disney. But doing this, I can see that there's a commercial reason, but it can be, how can I put it politely, abused.
Well, it could be abused, and we got to hope that it gets regulated in a way that it can't be, done like that. So
have I gone? I'm sorry. Oh, right. Hang on a second. My Adobe's updating. So sorry about that. My Adobe just decided to start doing updates on Photoshop. Yeah, well, annoying. So look, Bilford's put
that's
a
Apple
thing
for
in
you.
here. Yeah, Bilford's put a thing in here. The Taco Bell joke. It's a joke in Demolition Man. It was a sponsorship thing that they did, and I think they in Europe they switched it out to Pizza Hut because
Yeah,
there are
they
no
did.
Taco Bells in thingy. But
No.
but it's part of the joke because Taco Bell in the States is the equivalent of how can I put it politely, kebabs over here. Yeah, it's not the most healthy food for you, but if you're you're hankering for something like that, then that's what you'll have. But if they took that out of Demolition Man, it would ruin part of the story because it's like Taco. What do you mean, fucking Taco Bells and all the restaurants and it's like Gordon Ramsay or any of those sort of no, just Taco Bell. Oh, thanks. So yeah, we got all of that to kind of come over.
Well, all I
think
can do is, all I can do is hope that they only use this to simply provide advertisement or product placement, like they used to have actual physical things to add as a product. But make sure that label's
James
facing,
Bond.
yeah, martini, fucking.
That's
As long as they only do it to, for older programs that they want to advertise on in order to keep costs down for consumers without any political bullshit, then I don't mind it.
I think the only way that you could probably use this technology is that you've made a film, yeah, and you wanted a sponsor, but you couldn't get a sponsor at the time. It allows you to put a sponsor in at the last minute. But as soon as that film goes to print and goes in the cinema, it should remain as it is, as a piece of artwork, as a little time capsule for that period of time when that was filmed.
What gets these further on down in that article, he mentions about live sporting events and changing people's things. Like, what was one he was saying? And also, for example, an artist has made let's say a rap video for a song, obviously, well, for a rap, and he's wearing a certain pair of shoes, Nike, and they decide, a few years down, like, let's change that to Adidas because they're sponsoring him now, and then they overlay the shoe to make it look like that. Again, but then I don't like the idea of live sporting events. I don't like the idea of overlaying a live.
I get the idea of that they have now. If you watch like the Premiership or the rugby or whatever, you have the banners across where the crowd is, yeah, and you can see it changing because they're like video displays now. And you've got people who work in those sort of companies who do those video display things, and those, having them change, and that's fine. But I would, if I was an advertiser, and knowing that. Say I sponsored the FA Cup, Chevrolet, for example. Chevrolet's got their things come up everywhere, and that's an American brand, and that pops up during the FA Cup, during the winning goal being scored, and that winning goal is showed all around the world apart from the United States because they're not into football like everyone else. But because the way the thing is, they change it from Chevrolet in Japan to show Toyota in Japan. They change it to Ford in Australia. They change it to whatever in Brazil and so forth and so on. It's Chevrolet. We should be pissed at that sort of stuff. I would be pissed if I was an advertiser of that sort of stuff.
I can imagine, right, the amount of money you have to pay to advertise during one of these high-profile matches, and then let's say a year down the line, it's swapped for somebody who hadn't had the foresight to pay at the time. And so essentially people who are paying at the moment, they pay big money to have their adverts on during any cup final of any sporting event. At the moment, that's there for prosperity,
Yeah.
And
all right.
Later on down the line, gone.
Okay, so from we're looking at this, and I'm looking at it thinking, this is 1984, you can use it to remove an alter technology. And Nigel's looking at it going, you know what? The people who are going to lose out most from this are advertisers.
Well,
as long as it's good for us, and
don't know if
it
it is
keeps
good for
costs
us,
down
that's why.
for streaming services or whatever, then I don't really mind it too much.
Don't. If they can charge you they can charge you, make money from you. They'll make money from
But
you. Nice.
yeah, as soon as they
what
start
Gareth
upping the cost, then I'm not happy.
what Gareth is worried about is not so much the editing for advertisers; it's editing history. And
Yeah.
I get what he means, because why stop with editing editing the advertising out when you don't have to put these warnings for politically sensitive things these days on the movies. You can just go and edit them out. And they've already started doing it, and it's worrying because it's censorship disguised as something else, and it's bullshit. And I understand why he's worried. I do. It worries me as well.
Okay, let's move on to something you shouldn't be worried about, and maybe slightly happy. A word's too much for you? Then you should follow us on Instagram. We put pretty pictures out. Thanks. Right. James Cameron. When was the first Avatar film out? Was it 2007?
The first one, yes, on 2010.
2010. A
Yeah.
decade ago. As far as I know, he's done fuck all. Yeah, he's like a kid who's not done his own work, right? He's done and he's like, I'm worried about how much Avatar 2 will make at the box office. Well, it's not going to make as much as it would if you'd have put it out 4 years after the original. The ride at Disney is fantastic. If you go to Disney, do Flight of Passage. It's sitting on a space opera watching a brilliant 3D movie. I think I'll be honest with you, but then again, I think Star Tours is better than the last 3 Star Wars films that have come out. Yeah, he's worried that he's not going to make $1 billion. I don't think he's going to make $1 billion. I think that no one gives a shit about this anymore. We've had the Avengers in between. We've had Zack Snyder's Justice League in between. We've had what do you call it? We've had
Godzilla versus Kong.
Godzilla versus King Kong and all that stuff. Yeah. And the long and the short of it is, people have forgotten about this. He's taken so long to do it. People have gone, oh, remember Avatar? Yeah, it was all right. It was like Fern Gully, but with tall, gangly Smurfs.
For me at the time when Avatar came out, we watched it in the cinema and it looked amazing because I think it was one of the first films that they used 3D on, right?
Yeah, it involved a lot of falling coming towards you.
Yeah, and it was like, wow, this is great. The graphics are amazing too. And then I bought it on Blu-ray because I really did and I watched it on my brand new 1080p TV, and it looked amazing. Move on 10 years, it's the standard. What are you going to do, pal?
Yeah, he's got to really fucking up.
Yeah, he's been basically allowed to take this long making a film, and now everybody's lost their interest because unfortunately the pandemic's happened. Nobody gives a shit, and now he's throwing his toys out his pram a bit. Well, poor old James. Stop fucking building stupid submarines and going down deep things, and make movies. But don't take your 10 years to make a fucking sequel to one of the biggest selling movies all the time, and then bleat and complain when people have lost interest. 10 years is a pretty damn long time, mate.
Yes, 10 years is a damn long time to do this.
Well, it is, yeah.
I'll be honest with you, he bollocks it up. I think maybe he has done it at the right time. Maybe we're coming out of the superhero phase, and this might allow us to push away from that because of things like Endgame and whatnot. And Endgame ended the fucking MCU. I know we've got an epilogue with Spider-Man, but Spider-Man and Batman are the ones that can properly exist outside that universe, if that makes any sense. Superman should be able to, but they can't fucking seem to do it somehow.
Oh no,
anyway,
Lois and Clark, or whatever it's called, the 5 episodes that have aired, it's been really good. Genuinely,
I'm talking about films, mate. I'm talking about Man of Steel and Batman versus Superman and stuff like that.
You see,
because Superman should be able to hold a film by himself too. I think Batman would work better as a TV series. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, you're
2019.
right. You should. Earlier, I got a bit confused over the dates. I thought it was the other film, Shang-Chi, that would be 2022. It's actually Avatar 2, which is
Yes.
in 2022. I got
So
the
what's
two.
meant to happen from next year is we're meant to get the Christmas blockbuster is going to be an Avatar movie, then a Star Wars movie, then an Avatar movie, then a Star Wars movie. And it's going to alternate like that for the next few years.
Star
That's
Wars movie. Star Wars
yeah.
movie.
Well,
Really?
yeah.
Oh dear. What a mistake. What a mistake at a maker. Yeah, okay. Well, let's just summarize this quite simply. James, you waited too fucking long. We're
Yeah,
over
I
your
agree.
Blue Smurfs. We're over your Fern Gully with guns. But that ride at Disney, awesome. I've only got one story for TV. I sent you messages out and no one came back to me with anything.
No,
so
I did come back to you, and I had a good old
there's
look.
nothing.
And
You
there
sent me your reply with this fuck all.
yeah.
What was your
there
reply?
was.
You're right,
I
mate. It's
couldn't
fuck
find
all.
anything.
TV news.
I looked. I was waiting for the young one to come out of Taekwondo, and he was about 20 minutes. I'm sitting there going through trying to find a story. I couldn't find shit.
No, there's nothing of any interest. The only thing I think Nige pulled up was
Line of Duty.
Line of Duty, which doesn't end tonight, and next some other time. So,
Yeah, I thought tonight was the last episode.
Because
but it's actually next week.
Usually it is, and I would have thought the same thing as you, but I was watching it last week, and I go, they're not going to wrap up all of this shit in an hour-long episode because we have to have the mandatory 45-minute interview fucking scene, and there is no way that they're going to have
today.
all of them. Yes, I know, but they're not going to wrap everything else up, and I know they're meant to be wrapping a lot up.
Yeah.
So
actually, the only thing we can do is say how bloody brilliant Line of Duty has been this season.
I don't know. I'll have to give it a watch. I'm going to get through all 8 seasons of Castle on Disney Plus, which is the only decent thing to watch on Disney Plus.
All I would say about Line of Duty for you, Gareth, it does the thing that you like, and that is explain things that you've seen earlier on. It explains things and does its absolute best to tie things in a nice, neat little bow and go, there you are. That's the story.
Okay.
But it's all really, it's entwined. There's things that are subtle in the background that you've got to try and figure out. Mate, you got to start from season 1 though, and work your way through.
Okay.
Because it all carries on. It's one big story, season on series.
All right. Okay, I'll try and get there when I get a chance. But I've got Castle to get through, and at the moment I'll probably be through it in the next 4 weeks, given the rate that we're going through at the moment. But there was a TV show, not TV show. There was a series on Netflix which I really enjoyed. It was an anthology series based on, well, it's supposed to be based on heavy metal, but they changed that because I don't think they could get the rights for it. It worked out cheaper. Called Love, Death, and Robots. One of the stories I really liked in that was the Keeler Drift one. I did the audio book for the Keeler Drift because I wanted to know what the book was about because it was based on a short story. I really enjoyed the hell out of it, and they've got a new season.
Okay.
I heard this.
Yeah.
Oh, my hand. You feel something,
The thing with Love, Death, and Robots.
don't you?
And a door opens up other world.
Why give all this up? I've been alive 200.
That's coming to us May 14th.
Hey.
Well, good. They're interesting because it usually showcases for people who are trying to, get off the ground. They look great. I imagine there'll be some sad stories in there, some scary stories in there, some funny stories in there, like with the poop and the dog and the robot.
So like
Yeah.
shorts
Yeah.
on
individual
Disney+.
stuff. Go watch Love, Death and Robots. Don't watch the Drift one where the guy gets shot through a gate, and because the way the star thing works, that he winds up being, how can I put it, he's travelled like as anyone's gone, winds up on this space. It's good. It's really good. I really enjoyed the hell out of that one. And then there was the one with the Russians fighting the monsters in the snow, which is fabulous. That was a great one. Then there's the one about the sentient yogurt that takes over
Sentient yogurt.
devices, which is one of the more funny ones. Well worth watching that first series. And the great thing about it is you can just pick up one, watch one, go away, come back, pick up another one, watch another one. And you don't have to sit there. There's not a continuous story or anything. I love Death and Robots season 2. Looking forward to that. There'll be some good stuff in there, mate. So what do you think?
Yeah, thoughts at about 3-4 minutes long, because you could just plow through them, can't you? But
Please.
Good.
About 20 minutes. So
No waffle. That's what you need in a story.
Straight to the fucking point.
No waffle.
Yeah. And plus, because it's CGI in. Have you not seen that? All right, and I'm not joking. Some of the best. Anyway, game here.
Did mature.
Blink of an eye takes 300, and it can change everything. Tatiana, my love, you've been gone for so long. Everything I did has led me up to this moment. Science. I'm not counting on miracles. I will be meticulous. I will be thorough. I won't put my guard down. I will fight. Day. All I need is a plan for everything to change. All it takes is a blink of an eye. I'm coming for you, Tatiana. No matter what.
Now, when they have got the base building stuff, when she was supposed to be like a place where they
The Liam Neeson, although I say that, but I did enjoy Aliens. Yeah,
something bad.
And I'm talking in my lovely narrator's voice. Bask in its love. Love of God. Well, send Keith round.
This movie streaming coming to play. He's got one, and they've got one. Not hurting. They've apparently got 42 million PlayStation Plus, concurrent PlayStation Plus users, if I've read that right. Active subscribers, not concurrent users. So there's lots of people paying out for PlayStation Plus. And hey, if you want to throw some films in there from Microsoft's Xbox Games Pass, because I think they're making multiplayer free on Xbox soon. So I'd love that. They started off by paying for it. Now it's free, but you can have all these games.
You see, it is a complete role reversal there, isn't it, with Microsoft and Sony? Because originally, on the PS3, I believe, you didn't need a PS Plus to play online. No. But with Microsoft, you did. Then last gen, they both did. What?
Wouldn't it be quicker to
and Sony, like, yeah, they're good. If within the Chorus Plus subscription, they include some films owned by Sony, because there are a bunch of films made by the Sony studios. So because of that, I would say they need to give us an option as to whether or not Apple are levels, because some of us, like me, I don't want to pay extra, so give me the lower package to allow.
Sony might have can they put them on streaming, but the rights? I mean, only this week Disney they're going to have the rights and they're all going to appear on.
Keith, it's different. Do you know why?
Why?
Because these are Plus membership. You own the right to watch it, so it's not a streaming service.
Not the same thing as
circumvents it. So you could have bought it from the store, which you're allowed to do to you by PS Plus.
Do you think that's it? Is that how they? I can see a call.
The games.
It's about ownership, because you've got your PS Plus membership.
Games. So you get 3 games a month. You can download those under your PS Plus, But as soon as you don't have a PS Plus, load those games, and it knows it was downloaded under PS Plus, so you can't play them anymore. It's going to be like that. In which case, well,
it's an interesting prospect. I still think I'm not entirely around.
No,
that.
I think they can get away with it because you can download the entire film. You don't have to stream it. You can download it. Right
So you can download the film on Netflix.
Netflix properties.
Fair enough.
Go see what you can, and because you can download. You can't download everything on Netflix. The same with Amazon too. Next bit. Enjoying the podcast so far? Why don't you give us a like on YouTube? Thanks. A couple of weeks back, we talked about the fact that they were going to shut down the PS3, PS Vita, and PSP stores.
Yeah.
They've gone. We made an oopsie. Please forgive us for making an oopsie. They were going to shut it down on July and August, but given the short notice that they gave both the developers and the users, they said clearly we've made the wrong decision here. So PS3 and PS Vita stores will remain open. Plus, at the same time, if there's a source of revenue, then there's a source of revenue. I think this is a good thing. This is a good story. Go consumers. So I'm hoping that, because there's a couple of patches to actually view. That was a nice little easy story there. Let's move on to the next one. Hi, we've also got a Facebook page. Why don't you pop over there and give us a like? You can also watch the live streams on there. Thanks. All right, I like Days Gone. Days Gone got me through the early days of the pandemic. Really good game. I got it on. I think I paid 20 quid for it on a sale. But it looks like we spoke about this last week that Days Gone 2 isn't getting a sequel. And the guy who was responsible for Days Gone has left, emotional and upset about it. And these Days Gone dev attributes cancellation of sequel to lack of support. Now, please note that Days Gone didn't really work properly when it first came out. I know because my brother bought it new, and he waited about 4 months to play the bloody thing. Don't complain about a game not getting a sequel if you don't support it at launch. Don't launch a game and expect it to get supported if it isn't working. Simple. I can understand why he's pissed, because it's a good game. I enjoyed it. There's a lot of critics about it, and I'm like, oh, fuck off. Good game. Hang on a second. Not you guys saying that. Apparently, there's a petition out to get a sequel. It's got 80,000 signatures at the moment. It is worth it. I try and get you. I want you guys to play it, because I know that if you there's like a little hump, and I mean when a little hump, I don't mean like a Red Dead Redemption hump, where you have that whole fucking area in the snow for like 4 hours before you can actually get into the game. This is about a 45-minute hump. As soon as you get past that 45 minutes and you're into the actual going around and you come across the hordes and all this other stuff, it's really good. And then when you start hearing the Nero guys talking about how the infection spread and what's happening with it and how they're tracking it, and it kind of just starts fleshing everything out, and it's really good. I enjoyed the hell out of it. As I said, saw me through the pandemic. I've played it through twice. I've got a friend who I recommended it to at work. He's played it through. I think he's on his third playthrough because he enjoyed it that much. It's a really good game. I've got to play Ghost of Tsushima because I imagine that's on par, or if not better. But I love the hell out of it. I thought it was better than God of War. God of War had a few things in there that kind of grated on me, but yeah, the guy who spoke about this on David Jaffe, who ironically is the guy who created the first God of War's podcast, and I think he says it's too little, too late. I think it's Sony's fault. I think they should have sent someone down there to try and troubleshoot it and sort it out and get things up and running. It's a good game, and it needs to have a sequel so I can find out what the hell happened to O'Brien. If you've played the game, you know what about O'Brien at the end of the game happens to him and the others, because something was coming, and it was great. And there was one bit, we're following these neuroscientists around, and I've probably said this before on the podcast, but you follow them around, you're listening to them, and they are talking about how one of these freakers, that's what I remember what they're called now, freakers, has come back home and got dressed.
Yeah,
So
you
you've got a
mentioned that.
zombie. Yeah. So imagine a zombie coming back home and getting dressed. That makes you go, sorry.
That reminds me of film Warm Bodies, where he's a zombie mindless thing, and he gets, I don't know, close to this girl who's just obsessed with his girl, and he slowly becomes more and more human throughout the film.
Yeah. Yes.
I thought you derped then.
Yes. I remember that. That was the guy who played Beast in X-Men First Class. If I remember
Yeah,
correctly.
what was this?
It's him.
I can't remember
his
the
name.
actor's name. Yeah, but it was yeah.
Oh,
He was in
Nicholas
Skins and
something.
Channel 4.
But
Yes,
yeah,
the one
I
the one they wanted to play Batman, but they said no, have Robert Pattinson play Batman. And then all the rumors about him shagging What's a Mush come out. Sorry, Nigel.
it's a good game. I mean, I think I might have done that 45-minute thing that you were talking about, where you get this bit of a junker of a motorcycle loaned to you, don't you? And then you ride out of that camp that you've gone to. Is it
No,
after that bit that it opens up?
No, that's your motorcycle that they started stripping down for parts, bastards. That's your motorcycle.
No.
They fucking stole your motorcycle and stripped it down for parts.
Yeah, they did,
And
and
then you
that's
have
on
a
the
go.
side. And he gives you this crap thing to use until you can get
Maybe you
parts
need to
back.
get a little further into it, but trust me,
Oh,
it's worth it because you get through it, and it's when you start going into to what caused the virus and how it's affecting people, because it affects people with different ways. Yeah, you get people who cluster together in groups, and it's ironically because they blame the Californians for it. Yeah, because they said the Californians are coming up through Seattle to get to, because I think they said it was trying to relive their bits and whatnot, but it's good. Let's move on to our next one, because I can talk hours about that. Brave enough to follow us on social media? Why don't you follow us on Twitter at Monkey Nut Punch? Thanks. Bioshock 4. I don't know if it's going to happen, but it sounds like it's going to be an open world game, according to a job posting. So, according to a job posting on, I always imagine these things popping up on LinkedIn, because I get these job postings and stuff on my LinkedIn profile. Developer Cloud Chamber, not Ken Levine's company. This is something that's been farmed out to, so it's not from the same people. It's looking for someone who can help weave impactful, character-driven stories in an open world setting. Anyone who worked on Red Dead Redemption 2, basically. I wonder what it's going to be like. I really do wonder what it's going to be like, because I always think of Bioshock as, I always think of Rapture and it being underground, or the System Shock one being trapped in a tin can flying through space. That kind of helped, I think, with Bioshock. The first one is the fact that you were in a pressurized can underwater. So yeah, it's an odd one here. It's going to be an open world game. Is it? So it's like kind of, what is it? Space? Are we getting space this time? Because we've had up in the clouds, we've had underwater. Are we getting like another planet? It would probably fit better with another planet. Aliens.
Yeah, it would. It would.
Like parasites. Add a parasite to you, gives you powers. Add a parasite to you, takes away powers. That sort of thing. Has different effects and whatnot. And then hopefully there should be a twist towards the end of the game, he says.
I'll be up for it.
I'm hoping it's going to be something good, but it's not Ken Levine who did it. So, but then again, if you got, I don't know, show me something. But it's nice to know that someone's working on Bioshock 4, and I will get a Bioshock 4, and I will have them to play. The downside is it's probably 3 years from now, and when it gets to those 3 years from now, and complaining and whinging about the fucking trailer, just remind me of this, because I will be.
Fair enough.
So yes,
Fair enough.
Bioshock 4. Are you excited for Bioshock 4? Did you play Bioshock, Nige?
No, I haven't played any of them.
You've not played any of the Bioshock games. You got them free on PlayStation Plus.
I did.
Remastered.
I'm sure I did, but I haven't played them.
Play the
There were
first
three,
Bioshock
so of
game.
course. There were three, of
Play
course.
the
I took
first
them.
Bioshock. So you need to play that in Days Gone and loads of other things. All right, okay. So now it's time to talk Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Right. I can say one thing with 100% certainty when it comes to Falcon and the Winter Soldier or Captain America and the Winter Soldier. The writing was shit. If you were to Netflix this and watch it one episode after the other episode after the other episode, it would feel you get discombobulated because it fucking swings like a pregnant woman's moods. Because if you look at the last episode and you compare it to this episode, it just makes you go, yeah, but he was like the bad guy at the beginning, and they didn't like him. They wouldn't talk to him, and they wanted a bit of shit out of him. And he whipped Falcon's wings off, and then he gets to the end of this one, and they're like now best buds. How did that happen? And he had a go at the Senate over here, a commission or whatever it was. How did that happen? And that's just one character. And then there's other ones, and it's like they had to bring in Sharon Carter because Falcon couldn't kill Ginger Carly or Pippi Longstocking in the episode, and that was really annoying because he should have knocked the crap out of her and sent her to jail, and she should have blown up in the van with the rest of them, and then he could have felt guilty or something.
I think making Sharon Carter a bad guy is one of the biggest travesties so far. Actually, it just doesn't. It makes absolutely no sense.
They needed a woman to kill the other woman because they can't have it in their stories.
So they made her a complete bad guy purely for that. And evidently she's going to be one of the big bads in Captain America 4, which is happening, by the way. So Marvel have announced it after this. And guess what? Who's it? The lead role? Anthony Mackie. No, it's a pile of bollocks. I'm sorry, but everything that's come out of Marvel is just crap. Whereas The Mandalorian was great on Disney Plus, and it got better. This has been an utter pile of donkey droppings, as was Vision and blah blah blah. What the fuck is Kevin Feige thinking? I mean, it doesn't even feel like Marvel. It was just a fucking great big virtue signal. Oh look, Steve. We couldn't just have Steve hand the shield to the Falcon, and then we get another film with him as the lead role. We had to do this whole virtual signaling 6-episode bullshit about a black man picking up the shield.
Can I just point something out? Yeah, out of all the characters in it, the guy who plays Captain America had the most complete story arc. Yeah.
Yes.
He went through the thingy. He went through tragedy. He lost his thingy. He went into the abyss. They didn't see him recover or climb out of the fucking abyss storyline-wise. Comes out the other side a hero, okay? And you saw him. He took him on with a fucking dustbin lid for all intents and purposes. Okay? He had a thingy. Bucky's story went like this. Bucky, what? You're black. And that was the story. It was him discovering that he was black. Apparently, he didn't know. And everyone had to tell him.
Why did we need...
Hang on a second, right? You know the motivation behind the terrorists, don't you? They were people who had moved into people who had been blipped out of existence's place and then shifted out because those people would come back. Yeah?
Yeah.
So it's like me and my family got blipped out of existence. Yeah, they would have moved into my house, had all my shit, yeah, and then I'd have come back and gone bye. So they would have given shit for free, and that's why they were throwing a tantrum. I'm just like, oh my god, I've got another take on it because I was trying to find a different viewpoint on it. And I will tell you about my different viewpoint towards the end. And you can go, interesting.
But all of this stuff, all of this watching, just makes us see how selfish Tony Stark was, and all you're doing is painting your hero as an asshole, because literally 4 billion people are suffering because of one person's selfishness. Now, the whole idea of a hero is that they do selfless acts. This is why this 5-year thing doesn't work. And this is why I do not like Endgame. I do not like it as a movie. It narratively doesn't work. It's a crap movie, and I don't know why people keep banging on about how great it was. Yeah, it's got a fight scene at the end, and it's got an epic showdown.
The best bit of that was when Captain America picks up Thor's hammer.
Yeah,
that was the best bit of Endgame. That's the bit everyone go. That's the bit when you say Endgame. I think what bit gave me the most joy? It was when not Tony Stark, fucking Steve Rogers picks up that hammer and Thor goes, "I bloody knew it," like that, and then all of a sudden he kicks the crap out of Thanos, and you're like, yes, because we all knew that he could pick up the hammer, and even though in the Age of Ultron he went to pick the hammer up and he didn't pick it up. Yeah, he was like, "Oh, you know what? I won't. I didn't think I could pick it up, but yeah, clearly I can fucking pick it up." But yeah,
I mean, the 5-year thing doesn't work for me. And then what did this story do? This 6 hours of boredom and crap launched a Captain America. Well, that's what Endgame did. When Steve handed him the shield, he was Captain America. Why did we need this whole thing about, there's going to be people in America that don't accept a black man? Yes. Unfortunately, we live in a world where that kind of thing
Hold on
exists.
a second.
We know it. Marvel's about escape.
No, wait a moment. All right, we had the Iron Patriot. Yeah, all right. A who was War Machine?
A black man.
Who was a black? They didn't have a problem then.
No.
But what?
Because Kevin Feige suddenly needs to virtue signal because everybody has to obey the Twitter mob. I'm sorry, Nigel. I know you don't. It makes me angry. And I used to like Marvel, and this is why I was being sort of slightly ambivalent towards Shang-Chi, because I just think they're going to do the same thing. I think it's going to be, they've been accused of poor representation when it comes to Asian people, and they cast what's her face as the freaking what's his face they cast weirdo Tilda Swinton in my brain's gone. But
Doctor Strange, because they couldn't cast the original guy because he was Tibetan and they would upset the Chinese.
Yeah, and now they've got to do this movie, and I feel that this movie could have been good, but it's just going to be one great big virtual signal because Kevin Feige's got a bug up his ass. No, I'm sorry, Falcon and the Winter Soldier was shit. If they do female Loki for the entire damn thing, I'm going to do something. I'm going to become so freaking vocal it's untrue because it really makes me angry. I am fucking fed up with these people and their stupidness. I mean, somebody compared this form of wokeness and leftist to Reich, and it fucking well is. And sorry. Although he did look cool in the costume.
Okay, and now he looked like I think he looked like fucking A-Train from The Boys.
Well, but A-Train's costume was based on the Falcon's comic book.
No, A-Train was way before Falcon as Captain America.
Was he?
And he was white too.
Yeah, well, I don't think he had the same, but I know that the costume was close to the comic book.
It was close to the comic book, but he looked like A-Train. And when I saw A-Train, I went, well, can't you get a sponsorship from someone? I'm sure some Kmart was sponsoring. Kmart, Walmart, sorry. Someone will sponsor you in the States. SO. American Airlines, maybe. That would be a great one for Falcon. American Airlines, you got him flying up alongside a jet. Could have made a fortune, saved your family's business. Right.
It wasn't good.
It was the speech at the end that he made. What do we do? Do better. No, that's not how it works. You can redraw borders like that. No, you can't. It takes like years of negotiation. Trust me, the British were the only country that came close to redrawing borders quickly, and that didn't go down too well in the Middle East. And it's like kind of, you can feed 1 million people with a phone call. It's like, no, you can't. You're as powerful as a Mad Titan. No, they're not, because they would have brought everyone back if they could have. And it was just this low resolution way of looking at things. Like this was written by what do you call it? This has been written by a person who has been sheltered by the parents for most of their life. Yeah, that's the next load of vodka. Clearly, because they're expecting the parents to sort it out, and they look at the government as their surrogate parent to sort everything out and thinking, oh, it's going to work out like that. No, it doesn't work out like that. You've got to fucking pull your own weight.
It's Marvel trying to do realism when actually all I want to do is have escapism with heroes kicking bad guys in the face, and that was none of this. You know what I mean. And this wasn't Marvel. This wasn't heroes. This wasn't comic book.
The John Walker character turned into a hero at the end.
Except he's working for Madam Hydra.
Is it Madam Hydra? Or they replaced it.
That's who she's made. The character in the comics was Madam Hydra. So, it's interesting. I did quite like her. There were moments in where it felt like Marvel. When we got that first episode of WandaVision outside of the weird and wonderful world of Wanda, that felt like Marvel, and we all got a bit excited about it. There were brief moments in this, but for the most part, it was boring. And and this is somebody who is a Marvel fan, God knows what Nigel thought of it. Did you even watch it?
Yeah, I watched it.
Was it boring?
It wasn't as boring as the rest of it, the final episode, to be fair.
Well, it did have an action scene. I mean, I'll give you the whole helicopter action scene was.
Did you love it when it turned around? It was like kind of, oh, can someone fly that plane? It's going to be a woman, even though most pilots are men because they like flying planes more. I don't know why he couldn't take control of it remotely with a bloody thing.
Well, what I didn't get is like whoever it was flying it, and obviously is part of whoever it was stealing people or kidnapping people.
Oh yeah,
the person who did the countdown was her inside the helicopter, and not him from outside, where people wouldn't be able to hear the countdown. The whole reason why she had the earphone is so he could talk to her to relay instructions and not let on that something was going to happen. For her to start the countdown, 5,
He's right.
4,
He's
3.
right.
I just like to point out that have you ever flown a helicopter, Nigel?
Huh?
Have you ever flown a helicopter, Nigel? You can't hear that in a helicopter. You have to have what do you call it?
I have.
A headset and internal.
I have
comms.
flown a helicopter, but still, why?
No,
he's the one who's going to be flying in.
Yeah, I get. She shouldn't have even said anything.
Of all the things I'm expecting you to criticize, that was not.
I know, but Nigel always picks up on these little things. But he is right.
That's the thing that pissed me off.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I don't care about all the other shit. I don't care like you guys do, because it really doesn't wind me up. I'm not bothered by it. I didn't mind the fact that what's-his-face Walker came to help, had this, change of heart or whatever. And I figured that, he was working with, he's now going to work with that woman who I think is a bad guy, possibly Hydra. So, and then the other woman who Falcon and what's-his-face have been working with,
Sharon Carter,
turned out to be a power broker, whatever the fuck that is. They didn't explain it. And I didn't have a clue who Sharon Carter is anyway. So what is she from Agent Carter?
No,
I don't know.
Winter Soldier.
She's the granddaughter of Agent Carter, and she was in Captain America, Winter Soldier, and
Civil
War. And she was kind of a love interest for Captain America, and they made her part to be good. And when they introduced her as the granddaughter, and she helps him out again in that, and it was a really lame excuse as to why the character became bad and dangerous, and it doesn't make any sense if you. As Gareth said, it's just really bad writing. They needed somebody to kill Carly, and it couldn't be the man.
And it couldn't be. That's the thing that got me. That's the bit that got me, because I reckon you didn't have to kill her off there and then. You should have just had Sam beat her with the shield and knock her flat on her ass, cuff her, throw her in the back of the van, and when the others all got exploded at the end, she could have got killed with them. and then it would have been down to Zemo.
But then all the Twitter would be like about violence towards women again, and Disney, and we know how they placate these people. It's
surely the whole being killed apart from everyone else. I mean, if she was killed with a group, that wouldn't have they wouldn't have been the Twitter article wouldn't have been on that. But her being singled out and separate from the rest and killed solo, surely that is what they would have issue with, rather than being treated like part of the group like she was.
These people are fucking Fruit Loops, Nigel. You can't reason with these people.
You can't. No, you can't.
It's like it's that the Terminator, it's like you can't reason with it. You can't talk it out of its position. It will just keep coming at you until it fucking beats you.
Oh, did you see Arnie put out a little video this week about congratulating NASA? And at the end he goes, "Get to the chopper." It's like, oi, you're copying me, Arnie. Arnie's copying my video. But that was brilliant. I didn't. Right, I'm done with this. I will watch Loki because I think Loki could be good, but I feel that it probably won't be. But the trailer makes me want to just watch it and hope to God it's like The Mandalorian. But who knows?
I'm looking forward to Loki. The kids asked me, "Oh, what's next?" I went, "Well, probably Loki." So we'll find out what Loki's like.
Yeah, Loki's in June. And they announced this week there was one TV story this week, which I completely forgot, and I've just suddenly remembered. Olivia Colman is going to be in
James Bond.
Not James Bond, in the
Captain
Nick
America.
Fury show, the Nick Fury show that's coming. What's it called?
Okay.
Secret Avengers. So they've got Olivia Colman in that, which could be quite interesting because I like Olivia Colman.
I think they should get Mitchell and Webb in there as like Shield or Sword agents. They would be great. Just like background funny characters, nothing too heavy. Just like kind of that was rude, wasn't it? That sort of thing. Okay, let's move on to our last section. Locals left terrified by mysterious headless beast turns out to be Croissant. Animal welfare officials were called to report of a dangerous creature hanging from a tree, and residents were too afraid to leave their windows open. It wasn't quite the beast they were fearing. Animal officials were called to report. Animal welfare officials called on reports of a mysteriously headless beast hanging out a tree, were instead met with a breakfast menu item. Residents in Powden's Krakow reportedly refused to open the windows because they were afraid that the animal would go into the house. It's a big fucking croissant, I'll give you that.
That is a massive croissant. But seriously,
it's about just big, like that size. Not for the people listening. I'm sorry.
Oh God. I have my. How did you get there?
Someone just lobbed it out of a window. They went, "This is burnt. Make me another." That's what happened. They lobbed it out the window, going, "This is burnt. Make me another." And then it got wedged in a fucking tree. Oh my God. Oh,
it reminds me, I did have a genuine close encounter this week. Have either of you guys? There was a video a couple of weeks ago that went viral of this great big fucking dragon-looking lizard that was climbing up some shelves and settling on top of a load of like milk cartons and things. It went viral. It was all across the internet. It was freaking everywhere on social media.
No clue.
It was from Thailand, but it just went worldwide. Anyway, I'm walking down the road just here, and I hear this. Like, what the hell is that? Because it was like and then out of sort of the dark comes this thing. It's a 2-meter long monitor. This is, and I'm not joking. It was at least 2 meters. And it stopped, and I'm looking at him going, trying to get my fucking phone because I'm going, nobody's going to believe this. And it looked at me, and then it just turned around, and it legged it. But it don't half move quick. But the noise it made was just so, I was laughing because all you heard was this. I'm sitting there laughing. I had to go and tell the security guys, but this is just moves so quickly, but the noise it makes when it runs on the TV. Like...
You don't want to get bitten by one of them, mate. They have
no.
I told them. I think it's just like full of shit. It bites you and like infects you.
Diseased, I think.
Diseased, yeah, that sort of stuff.
I tried. It went into. It climbed over, like it climbed up in this video. If you see it climbed over the gate pretty quickly into somebody's house, and I went and told the security guards, and apparently they got it out.
Keith, given the crack owl, are you sure it wasn't a croissant?
It was not a croissant.
Are you sure?
A problem.
That was blowing
because
down
I've seen them. I've never seen them inside the village before.
It was a scooter.
Because the village is all walled, and so but it somehow got in. It was, but yes, no, it wasn't a croissant. I could just imagine animal welfare looking at this crap.
And on
you
that
did very well to read that story.
I couldn't read that story. I kept the headline off of the bloody notes so you wouldn't realise what it was.
I couldn't get into the notes there. I've got to talk to you about it afterwards. But
okay,
brilliant.
All right. And on that one, next week is the split for a month. So we will be doing this, as in the movie news and TV stuff, at 3:30 on a Sunday afternoon. And in the evening, myself and Nigel will be doing the gaming news just for the month of May, and we'll see how we get on. And thank you for listening. If you got this far, give us a like, give us a thumbs up on Facebook, because you deserve it. There you go. To twist that in our favour. But thank you for watching. We will catch you in the next podcast. And as I said, gaming in the afternoon and gaming in the evening and TV stuff in the afternoon. Bye-bye. Say goodbye, guys. Quick.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I'm just glad that thing wasn't like a German bratwurst or something. That would have been terrible.
Man's